Appreciate it.
Spanish or English?
English.
English.
Tony Baez, AB Boxing News. I'm here with the champ, Jose Ramirez. Jose, how are you?
Very good, man. Here in New York City.
Right. Now, congratulations on your new contract with Top Rank. Mm-hmm. Tell us about that and what are you looking forward to next?
It's a multi-year deal, multi-millions. They've done an amazing job, in my career as far as building me and helping me grow, and also, I thank them for allowing me to co-promote fights with them early on. Since I was 6-0, they allowed me to co-promote my first professional fight with them. And JCR Entertainment co-promoting with Top Rank and Lemoore at the West Hills Arena, Golden Arena. And that was, to fight for water. That's how the fights for water, and then the fight for cancer. So all those fights, they were promoted by myself and my team. Yeah. With Top Rank and ESPN, and the early ones were with Unimas.
Right.
But yeah, most promotional companies don't give that, that ability or that opportunity to some fighters. So. I was very thankful for that, and I became a world champion in 2018. I became a unified world champion this year in 2019, and hopefully 2020 I become the undisputed world champion. And they're the right company, they're the right company because they're able to, in the division that I'm in at 140, they're able to make fights against the best 140 pounders.
Right.
So that's what I'm looking at, and it's not a 5-year deal. It's not a 5-year deal or anything like that. It's a few years.
Okay.
So I feel like I'm still be in the
in your prime.
In my prime, when after this contract, to see what's the best for me.
What's the best for you and your family.
But Top Rank is definitely allowing me to become a franchise fighter for ESPN. So.
Right.
The financial aspect there is life changing for me and my family.
Now, let's go to February 1st. Congratulations before you beat Hooker in dramatic, great fashion, stopping him. Now you're on the zone for that one fight. Now you're going to be fighting in China. Tell us about that.
It's February 1st, it's Super Bowl weekend, so
right, big weekend.
It's on primetime ESPN on a Saturday, the day before the Super Bowl. So, leading up to the Super Bowl, there's always, there's so much people tuned into ESPN and Sports Center and all these.
So many events going on.
Yeah, so many events on ESPN. So, they're gonna be using that platform obviously to promote myself as a fighter and promote the fight. So it's a good opportunity for me to get that exposure, to be recognized by many other fans out there, and to go in China, it also allows me to gain fans from
new audience,
and build that
network, right?
Build that superstar recognition, right. To be able to go to different countries and people could recognize you and see and know who you are and what you do,
right.
And it's always an honor for me to step in that ring, as a champion. I respect the sport of boxing so much that it doesn't really matter where I fight,
right.
As long as I have that ring, that's all I need for me to perform. And I'm thankful, I'm thankful for everything that's happened. Hopefully after that fight, I'm able to come back into the States, but I want Josh Taylor next, so.
Okay.
So it just hopefully they're able to come to the United States to make the fight, or right. I'm willing to go to the UK and make that fight.
Now you're fighting your opponent. Let's talk about him. Postal. He's been in great fights. He fought Terrence Crawford in a pretty good fight. What would you take? Watching. Let's say you watch the fight. Going into this fight, are you looking to surpass Terrence Crawford and beating him in dramatic fashion, knocking him out even earlier, or even showing the world on a big weekend, even in China, that Terrence Crawford did it this way, but I'm putting my print on Victor Postal, and I want the big fights after him.
I don't think I'm doing it. I'm not gonna do it for that reason, just to being in competition with Terrence Crawford. It's hard to say, because when Postal fought Crawford, he was undefeated.
Right.
and it was a few years back. So
Right, and he's obviously he fought Terrence Crawford. He beat Lucas Matisse. So he's a world class.
He's a world-class champion.
So how was that going into your fight? What are you going to learn bringing into that?
yeah, but you're right about me watching the Crawford fight against Postol, because when I look at fighters, I look at what they do wrong. So in order for me to see that, I gotta put some fights where they come across adversity or tough times. And in this case, Crawford is a good example, a good fight for me to look at, to see what Crawford did properly, what he did right, that I could probably use or at least give me an idea of what type of tools I have that I could use to bring the same problems or more problems to Postol. Postol, he said it in the press conference earlier. He's hungry and he's ready to fight, and hearing that motivates me, because I already worked so hard, but knowing that, like, that inspires me to go back tomorrow, Sunday, and go into that gym Monday, where Robert could be like, "What happened to you? Why you pushing yourself extra?"
Right.
Well, because I just see my opponent this last weekend.
You have the extra motivation.
And I have that motivation right now, and that drive, and I'm that type of fighter. So Robert knows me. Those that train next to me know how much I push myself in that gym.
Now we have, David Haney going to your division, and I know. Is that something you could see down the line, a fight with him?
Yeah, definitely. Devin Haney just became the WBC champion at lightweight, right? Yeah, I mean, it's if I'm at 140 still, and anybody's welcome to obviously move to 140 or come down to 140. I'll be happy to face,
And you're open to 147 for the big fights like Crawford, Danny Garcia.
Well, no, when I move to 147, I'm moving there to stay. Not just one fight, not just because of the money. It's because I did the best I could at 140, and hopefully that's enough to become undisputed. And when I move to 147, it's not because of one fight deal or I don't want to sell myself short like that. I want to move to 147.
So you're looking to cement yourself.
To cement myself at 147, definitely. To unify, to get the titles, and leave a big statement at 147. And towards the end of my career, maybe 154. I'm 5'10", and my body frame is not small, so I know I could just put the mass and but little by little, yeah, definitely.
Now, last night you were with Vergil Ortiz, and he had a nice win yesterday.
Oh, tremendous!
And he had one of my reporters had asked him, what's on your radar, and he called out Keith Thurman. And Keith just came. He took his first loss versus Manny Pacquiao, but a good fight. How would you see that fight? Playing out for Vergil Ortiz. He's definitely a high, prospect fighter that's definitely on the rise. He's gonna be in his prime. Would he give Thurman a big trouble?
Oh, big time, definitely.
How do you see that fight?
I spar Vergil, man. I spar Vergil, I spar Pacquiao, I spar Cotto, I spar.
Oh, wow.
No one's. I don't spar. I haven't sparred a guy as tough or hard hitting as Vergil.
As Vergil.
And he's 21 years old, man. I mean, this kid is hungry. He's hungry, and I just did an interview where they asked him who's your hero, and he mentioned my name, was Ramirez.
That's huge.
So, I started camp 3 weeks ago, and I took a couple days to go to do some PR in the first week. In the first week when I started, so I've been training for 2 weeks now, and and I was pushing him, he was pushing me, and doing strength and conditioning together. Now that my strength and conditioning coach also is doing his strength and conditioning portion. So yeah, we're working. We're pushing ourselves. Even Josecito Lopez is still pushing himself, and he can still give anybody a run for their money.
Definitely.
But to Vergil Ortiz and Thurman, I think Vergil stops him.
Stops him.
Yeah.
Late in the fight or early?
Probably, late in the fight because of Thurman's experience. I believe that experience is going to allow him to survive a little longer than other fighters. But yeah, I think Vergil beats him.
Okay. Lastly, last week we saw, Ruiz, Joshua. I'm sure you watched that fight. What was your thoughts about, Ruiz losing, and can he bounce back from this loss?
Most definitely he could bounce back. It's a big learning experience for him. I think a lot happened in a short amount of time for him. So, You know, it's a learning experience for him. You know, he came out healthy. You know, he didn't get
Right. He
hurt.
wasn't battered.
You know,
he wasn't battered.
You know, even a couple days after his fight, you know, you didn't see him, you know, get that damage. You know,
Right.
It was
Nothing major.
nothing major.
Right.
You know, the fight wasn't. It was a more of a boxing.
It was more of a boxing fight.
A boxing fight. In regards to, it wasn't. They were not committing too much. You know, Joshua was boxing very, very smart. But you know, I think he overdid it a little bit with his movement. You know,
Right.
I think there was times where he was already away from Andy Ruiz and he still kept moving.
Right.
So you know, he could learn from being able to maybe save a little bit more energy, and I do the extra movement and still be in range to make Andy Ruiz miss and then him land. And Andy, you know, Andy just needs to go in that gym, man. Andy still has that speed. You know, he still has that power. He's still young. He could give Wilder. He could give all these guys a good fight. You know, he just needs to train hard. You know, he just needs to get his priorities straight and really, you know, ask himself, you know, how much does he want to, you know,
be champion again?
Become a champion again. You know how hungry he is to become a champion. But I believe he will. I believe he will bounce back. Right now the heavyweight division is I mean, it's very strong and it's very entertaining, which is good. You know, it's good for Andy because he's still in the top 4, you know, heavyweight champions to my eyes.